Hey, good morning. So this is a review week. Glad as always that at least a few of you can join me. So thank you for that. We'll have a short review. That's all we're going to do this week is do a quick review just so that as you are confirming um, what what will be on the exam that I'm seconding you on that. Um, so yeah, very good discussion by the way. Um, that may have seemed a little silly for some of you to be sharing those ideas, but um, there's a lot of interesting ideas in there for how to prepare for an exam. So thank you for being thoughtful about the discussion, and also just kind of hopefully reminding people who might not have put this in the center of their radar for this week that we have this midterm was the other reason to do that. So anyway, thank you for the very thoughtful discussion, and I like reading those things because there's a lot of good ideas in there. Good morning, RoboGanko. Nice to see you. Uh, okay, so just review, and that's it this week. So I don't even really need to go into the course in Canvas, but I'll go ahead and do that just to uh, remind you. So it should be true that you have sort of a to-do list in Canvas, and the midterm exam should be showing up as something that's coming up for you. And then on the home page, if you scroll down, the midterm exam is in this table. And also, if you go to the week 9 module, you will find, we'll just go look at it. So week 9 is different because all it has is the review, which I will upload this video, even though it'll be a short and not very interesting one this morning. But I will upload this video. And then there's the exam itself. 50 questions, 5 points apiece. They are drawn from the questions that you have already seen from weeks 1 through 8. So it's all that same material. The midterm exam is due the coming Sunday at 11:59 p.m., which is October 23rd. Yeah, so the midterm is already opened up to you at this point. It was available as of 7 a.m. this morning. And then that's all I would worry about really is the midterm exam this week. Okay, so no other assignments, no discussion. If you go to Piazza, you'll find that I have left a note there saying there is no discussion this week. The questions will be drawn from weeks 1 through 8 randomly by Canvas. So all of that material is kind of game for the midterm. You have no time limit, but you only have one submission. So when you are ready to finalize your submission of the midterm, that's the one shot you get at it. But you can work questions with an unlimited amount of time between 7 a.m. this morning, which was about an hour ago, until 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. So take your time. It's always my fervent hope that everyone will get perfect or somewhere near perfect. And hopefully that's your goal for yourself as well. I do recommend that you have a VM running, just like I hope you do when you work the labs each week, that there are questions that ask you what's the command to do this thing, or what does a particular command do. And if you have your VM open, then you can just type the command and you can experiment with commands and make sure that you have absolutely the correct answer. Okay, so our topics. These aren't fully in order, but more or less I went through all of our lab work and grabbed all of the topics that are covered from weeks 1 through 8. So they're not lined up as nice as I'd like them, but that's okay. We can live with it. So there were some questions about what is an operating system, what is a Linux distribution, what is some basic facts about the history of Linux, who created the project, when, that kind of stuff. There are questions asking you to identify what we mean by the root user in Linux. Somewhere in there is a question about the super user do sudo command, and if you've been following along with me, then you have enabled that on a system and can use it. We talked about the basics of the bash shell. What is the prompt? What are the basic features of the bash shell? In the second half of the semester, we dig a lot more deeply into the features of the bash shell. So we get a lot more of digging in on bash after the midterm. Man pages, which I consider to be one of the more important resources you have at your fingertips for the midterm. And then a whole bunch of different commands. So who is, what is, which. There are questions about the file system hierarchy standard. And I'm not going to read every last one of these commands. That looks like a lot of commands. You all know at this point that most of them have manual pages that you can refer to. And then I also saw some good ideas in our discussion last week about, maybe making a small summary reference to these commands, just so you can quickly kind of flip to, okay, what does ls do, or what does the cat command do? And we go down to line 42. We have the redirection operators. I should put CCal option here. Those questions about the calendar, and we have ended up installing an enhanced version. At least I did on my Debian system, which gave us all the same things as the regular cal, but also gave us extra cool stuff. And you'll find that I updated the questions to allow the possibility that you're using CCal. Okay, grep. We did basic grep. The thing that I consider to be the most technically complicated of all the things that we've done so far are processes and jobs. Just by looking at scores on labs, I think people kind of get the basics of processes and jobs, and that's all that the midterm's going to cover is the basics of processes and jobs. But I do know that one is one of the more intimidating sets of content that we've dealt with. All right, so there's part one. Part two, the big P path, which is the shell variable, which is the list of directories that the shell searches for executables, versus little p path, which is the way that we address directories and files on the system. I've used PWD a lot, and probably at this point you have as well, just to remind you what my present working directory is, so that you are able during the live stream to track where I am on the system. The special characters dot and dot dot. When it comes to path, dot means the present working directory, which seems like it's not very useful, but when we start scripting, you will see that we actually use that single dot in a path, and it's required. Dot dot meaning one directory up from the present directory. And then the tilde character, the squiggle, which is a shortcut in Bash for your home directory. And then we also, probably one of the other more difficult things to get comfortable with is the concept of relative little p path versus absolute little p path. Relative means a path that's constructed, I'll just say it that way. A path that's constructed from your present working directory relative to your present working directory. Absolute path is referring to a path that's constructed from the root directory, which is / on every Linux and Unix system. And then not everyone's favorite, I know, but VI, the questions that you saw in VI will come back. So it's not asking you, of course, to do any heavy VI editing, but just that you know how to do the basics so that you could, if you had to, create a file and edit it, or open a file and edit it using the VI editor. Understanding the difference between command mode versus insert mode, how to move the cursors, the ways that you quit write and quit without saving, how do you get out of VI once you've opened it, in other words. And we did how to delete a character, how to move the cursor to the top of the file and the bottom of the file, how to do a simple search in a text file for a term, a word search, if you will. And then let's see, deleting a line, undoing our last edit command, yanking a line, which is copying, and then putting, which is pasting. So line 69 is delete a line, undo my last edit, yank a line, which is copy it, and then put or paste a line. And then one of the last things that we did with VI was we looked at the .vimrc file, which is the configuration file that we can load preset configurations into VI when we launch it. And you guys had a really good discussion on that. And actually, I started using some of your ideas from it on my Debian system that I used during the live stream. So that is a very quick tour through all of the subjects that will be covered. I'll scroll back down and leave the good luck for you. So again, that's the only thing that's going on this week is the midterm itself. You can start it and have unlimited time to work on it, but you only have one submission. So that is different from our labs. The midterm only allows the single submission. So when you click the submit the exam, that's the one time you do it. But up to that point, you have as much time as you need. There's no clock on it. It's 50 questions. They're 5 points apiece. They are drawn from the same questions that you saw in weeks 1 through 8. So there will be nothing new or unexpected on there. You will have seen all these questions before. The difference is that you will see a subset of the questions. So instead of the full week 1 set of questions, the exam will pull a random selection of those questions that you've seen. But there are no new questions. It's the same questions that you've seen before. Go back down through it and just make sure that I'm not missing anything that I would want to highlight. Yeah, so that looks like a lot of commands, and it is technically a lot of commands. But you all know how to use manual pages. So if you are in a pinch and you can't remember the words that describe what a command does, like cat, use the manual page for it, and you can get a reminder about a description of what it does. And if you need to explore its options, those will be there as well. And then, of course, the basic VI and Vim stuff. Yeah, so I got you guys up early for a very quick review, but that's all I've got for you. So good luck this week. I am available, as always, by Canvas Inbox, office hours with Confer Zoom, and we'll try to avoid sharing answers to questions. But if you encounter a difficulty on the midterm, where do I look for this kind of thing? It's okay to ask in Piazza, but I would say this week probably prefer Canvas Inbox so I can make sure that we're not kind of handing out answers to your classmates, because we want them to do the review and do the work to assess themselves on the midterm. So let's prefer Canvas Inbox this week. Office hours if you need it. Piazza is okay if you are careful about the kinds of questions and answers that you offer in Piazza, knowing that we're all working on a midterm this week. But I trust your judgment. So use your better judgment when it comes to reaching out for help this week. But I am available, as I always am, in all the regular channels. And I hope everyone has a good run through the midterm. I hope it doesn't cause you too much stress or strain. It is a good time, I think, though, to go back and just sort of stop and capture the moment. Make sure that we're getting the sort of major themes of the thing before we move on to other stuff in the second half of the semester. Yeah, so that's it. I'll wait around for a couple minutes and see if anybody here on the live stream has questions. Uh, but other than that, thanks for getting up to join me for this brief review, and I hope you have a very good run through the midterm. It is always my hope and makes me feel the best if you guys come out with very good results on your midterm. So that is my hope for you. Okay, couple of minutes of sitting here, and then I will sign off. Have a great week. Thank you, that one kid. Appreciate it. You have a good week as well. Um, yes, Robo. I'll see you in the other class. Oh yeah, color on also. See you guys in the PNA2 stream here in a couple hours. Yes, for sure. Um, okay, take care, everybody. Good luck. Reach out if you have any questions, and I'm here to help. Yes, thank you, Robo Ganko. Good luck, everybody. Everybody have a good run in the midterm, and hopefully the opportunity to reflect and review is fruitful. Okay, so I will be. We'll have our normal resume new content next Monday morning at 8 for this class, and if I see you in another class, then I'll see you in one of my remaining streams this week. So take care. Have a great week.